Hey guys, MuJK here. There's a new banner that came to us, and this is the same banner that Japan has as well. It's basically these Cheergirls, the main characters that we all know and love, plus Yui, who's entering the game for the first time. But they're kind of support characters where they can boost the whole party's attack, and I don't know if they did it purposely to try to make them feel unique, but they basically mixed up all their weapons that they're typically using. So I'll show you in just a bit. But the question that most people are asking probably is, is this worth pulling, or should I pull on this versus the OS banner? And the quick answer is no. This banner is only here until the 12th, so the OS banner is actually going to stay here longer than that. And I don't see any reason to pull on this over the OS banner unless you're really itching for some like cheerleaders on your team or holy element or whatever. But the OS units are, I would say, clearly better. And the reason for that is, these guys already buffed themselves, their attack and regen and all that stuff. So if these are your best attackers, then you don't need to have a party-wide heal attack boost. Sorry. If you had like an OS character and then you have like a couple of weaker attackers, do you really care that much about buffing the weaker attackers? No, you probably don't. In fact, instead of trying to get somebody to buff your party, why not just pull on this and try to get another OS character who can buff themselves? I mean, it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that'll make a little bit more sense to you right now as I show you the skill trial in action. So, like the OS characters, SS3s, pretty much do a ton of damage, they do a ton of hits, and they're fast. But let's look at this SS3, this is Yui. Actually, I'll just go through the basics first. The first two skills are very typical stuff, like pretty much everybody has that. Vertical square, a lot of sword users have this, like Straya and... I think Straya and Rain, I'm not sure, but there's definitely sword users who have that already. And then there's Bravery Slash, which is her kind of unique SS3. Yep, that's it. It does 3 slashes, pretty quick, and then it does the attack buff to the party. But, I mean, wouldn't you rather have an OS character, a top tier OS character who's hitting this guy like 30 times and then buffing himself versus just doing this? I mean, I just don't really see it. Then again, not every banner has to be stronger than the other ones. We've seen that in other games as well. People would want to pull for this just because they're cheerleaders and they're very different from what's been in the game, so that's the appeal. But as far as people who are free to play and try to be really, wise about using their diamonds, I would definitely not recommend it. Typical rapier shooting star here, neutron. It looks a little bit different to me. I think like lightning flash Asuna's points downward more. Maybe this would have better uses on like tall bosses, I'm not sure. And then there's Cheerful Dance. Looks a little cooler than Yui's, I guess. Again, same buff. Here's Sinon with a dagger instead of a bow or a rifle, or a sniper rifle. I think this is a little bit new, but Swift Trick is obviously standard stuff for a dagger. And then Cheery Stars. Fun animation, but kind of slow and doesn't look that strong. Silica with a mace. Typical. Kind of nice for an SS2 depending on how well it stuns the enemy. And then here we have a surprisingly quick SS3 for a mace. Okay, and then we have Asuna. Typical bow stuff here as well. Oh, that missed. Okay, and then her SS3 is a close range, really quick hitting combo. Could be useful in some ways. I mean, it's fast and also has this property where she kind of goes through the enemy and puts herself in a little bit of better defensive distance for, shooting arrows and stuff like that. So pretty useful, but again, all in all, I don't really see why people would want to pull on this over the OS banner if they're trying to be practical. So anyway, that's the banner review of sorts. If there's information that comes out about how amazing these units are, I'll definitely make an updated video, but I just don't see it right now. They're decent for sure, but they're not better than OS. And then as for the event, actually I haven't really done it on this account. I've done it on my main already. But for this ranking event, you will want to set up two main squads. The first squad is going to be responsible for taking care of some trash mobs and then also fighting this guy, who kind of looks like a Triceratops, but I think it's a Rhino. I think the first stage is going to be a little bit easier, and then the second boss is going to be a Gleam Eyes Darkness version, and he might be a little bit tougher. So you want to put your best boss killing characters in the second team. You do want to spread it out so you have at least one really good character on each team. So for people who only have one good character, this could be a little bit of an issue for you. But again, if you're going to pull, you're going to pull on the OS banner. So I'll make another video in the future, in the near future, covering this event a little bit more, but that's pretty much it. On my other account, I have finished all the way through, and I haven't learned all the attack patterns yet, especially this Gleam Eyes guy, who's a little bit of a pain with all his combo attacks, but once I do, I'll be able to better describe it. I'm sure there's other videos out there as well. So anyway, that's my quick banner review, and then a first look at this ranking event. Now, earlier they did leak another event banner here with Yui on it. It's kind of like a character introduction type of thing. I don't know if that means you fight her or not, but that looks like it's coming in a little bit as well. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. And let me know what you think about the new banner units.